Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready? Prepare for blast off.
Your fortress of solitude.
Greetings, program.
Glad you're alive.
Your sanctum sanctorum.
Resistance is futile.
Welcome.
This your first triumph. This is where the fun begins.
Proof positive that geeks have inherited the earth.
It's showtime.
It's time to get your geek on.
You complete me.
With Dave Gramillion.
All right. Hello, San Antonio. Hello, Texas. Hello, USA, and all points beyond, including the UK, Canada, Singapore, Malaysia. Where else we have? We have Philippine listeners. Viva Mexico. We have some people down south there. And right now, everyone in San Antonio is flipping out because they don't know who we are or what we're doing on this station. I am Dave Gramillion, and welcome to Get Your Geek On. This is the premier talk radio show for Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, esports, really all things geek that have dominated this little world of ours. You see, geek is not what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is in. Geek is very in. Geek is now the mainstream, and we are here to talk the latest and greatest that is geek right here on Freedom 1160, AM Talk Radio, and Freedom1160.com. This is Season 3, Episode 1, and if you're just hearing us for the first time, that's because we are on a new station, new time, new date. We used to be on 9:30 a.m. The Answer just down the hall at 11 o'clock at night on Saturday, and while that was a blast and a half, Sunday at 4 is a lot better. Sorry, it just is. So here we are on Freedom 1160 for the very first time. We've had 2 successful years on the air. This kicks off our 3rd season now. We are an award-winning talk radio show. I was nominated for Best Radio Personality in all of San Antonio by San Antonio Magazine. And we took home the award for Best Podcast. Now, all of our shows get recorded and archived onto our podcast, which you can hear over on iTunes, you can hear over on Stitcher, and you can hear over at Omni, the best podcast in San Antonio for 2017. It's got all of our interviews, it's got all of our shows, it's got all of our challenges on it, which reminds me, Goose, Infinity Ward just now crossed $2 billion, so you're going to have to pay the piper on that one. So, unfortunately, what we like to do is have a little fun here. And 2 weeks ago, I think, Peter had to sing I'm a Little Teapot and for 5 minutes on the street corner because he was way off on his solo prediction at the box office. And now, Goose, you got to pay the piper because you were way off on Infinity War.
Hold on. It's not done yet. And when I saw Box Office Mojo and showed that it just crossed $2 billion, here's what I thought.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, no, you've conceded. It's done. You've got to undergo the one chip challenge, my friend. And actually, sadly, the good news is that they're sold out of the one chip challenge. But I was able to get a bag. Don't start celebrating just yet. Yeah, because you still have to.
No.
Yeah, you still. No. I did get a bag of Carolina Reaper ghost pepper. So yeah, you're still doing that. You're still doing that. So, all right. So here we are. We've moved over from 9:30, and we are now officially down the hall on Big Brother Freedom 1160.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom! Freedom!
So here we are, San Antonio. We're going to be here for quite a long time. Enjoy the craziness, embrace the insanity. I know I did, which is probably why I'm here anyway. Speaking of freedom and speaking of whatnot, let's go ahead and kick off the show news here. We're talking about some Marvel news.
This is that sequel to the smash hit No Equal. This one's for the true fans with Hulk hands and action figures.
You know, I had a nice set of notes set up here, and that includes talking about our friends over at Heroes and Villains of Cosplay. This segment is brought to you by our friends over at Havoc. You can find them on their Facebook page, which is facebook.com, of course, Havoc, the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay, a nonprofit organization here in San Antonio raising money for various charities and not limiting themselves to just one type of cosplay. If you're interested in cosplaying, if you have questions about cosplaying, you want to look up our friends over at Havoc, the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay. So I had a whole section all here, ready to go. We were going to talk about the Howard the Duck reboot. We were going to talk about Mark Hamill and Stan Lee joining together to promote and work on the Black Panther's quest. We had all sorts of Marvel news ready.
Yes, and I was prepared. I had stuff.
We had clips, we had sound clips and everything, and then Brie Larson had to go and open her mouth. And look, I understand.
Because Brie Larson opened hers, you got to open yours.
I have to. I don't have a choice. And
yes, you do have a choice.
And to be fair, we debated about this before the show about whether we should get into this because I don't want to talk politics on this show. I really don't.
No.
Because this is your escape from what is basically fantasy land now out there in the political landscape. But man, she had just the more I read about this, the more I had to talk about it. So Brie Larson, who is going to be Captain Marvel in 2019 and appear in Avengers 4 in 2019, a much heralded character. This is someone that Kevin Feige said will be the most powerful character they've ever had. She's pretty much going to lead the way in Avengers 4. This is the big character they're bringing up. So she's accepting, excuse me, the Crystal Award for Excellence in Film. Not sure why, but, okay, she had... I don't know what she's done, to be honest, but there we go. She's taking that up. And in her acceptance speech, she deviates a little bit from the script and says, quote, keep in mind, this is an acceptance speech for an award, okay? All right, quote. So earlier this week, USC Annenberg, I didn't know there was a USC Annenberg, but okay. She goes on to say, Inclusive Initiative released findings that 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males. Oh my God, a horror. She goes on to say that less than a quarter of the critics were white women, less than 10% were underrepresented men, only 2.5% of the top critics were women of color. If she'd stopped there, I wouldn't have included it on the show because I'm like, okay, whatever. So you got a beef. Okay. But then she goes on to say, quote, so you're probably thinking right now, like, wow, that super doesn't represent the country I live in, and that's because that's true. Okay, sweetie. Can I call her Sweetie Goose? Is that okay? I can't do that? Okay, we'll edit that out, so that won't make it on the air.
I believe the proper term is Ms. Larson.
Okay, all right, so here's the deal, Ms. Larson. Here's the deal. You know who also doesn't represent the country as far as, population goes? The NBA, the NHL, the NFL, Major League Baseball. I mean, there's a lot out there that doesn't represent the population of the country.
The modeling industry.
The modeling industry. Thank you very much. Hooters. Just saying. It is what it is.
Don't bring your favorite restaurant into this.
Second favorite.
Oh, really?
Nothing replaces Whataburger.
That's very true. That is very true.
That right there. I'm going to read it again. Quote, like, wow, that super doesn't represent the country I live in. I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, Congress doesn't represent the country. Are you kidding me? And then she goes on to say, I mean, I thought, at some point the orchestra would start to play her off or they'd get the hook or something. But no, she goes on. Quote, on top of this, am I saying I hate white dudes? Again, white dudes. No, I am not. What I'm saying is that if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance that a woman of color will have the chance to see and review your movie. And this is also not to mention other people besides white dudes like Star Wars and would love the opportunity to do a set visit.
Okay, so I have to stop her right there.
Yeah, I don't get what the whole Star Wars thing has to do with the critics. But
me either.
Whatever.
But here's the thing people got to understand, all right? We have this thing now called social media. And social media makes you a publisher. If you go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of that, and talk about a movie that you saw, or YouTube for that matter, talk about a movie that you saw, a show that you saw, a radio show that you listened to that you happen to like, comic reviews, anything like that, you are a reviewer. You are a critic. Now, you may not get paid for it. It may be amateur hour.
True.
But there's nothing that stops anybody from any walk of life to talk about anything they want. Unfortunately, there is nothing to stop that nowadays.
Okay, now you would think that she would stop now, right?
I would hope.
I mean, she's done. She's now gone off on a whole tangent about Star Wars for some strange reason, right? I don't know what that's all about. But she goes on again to say, quote, and I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes. Again, white dudes. I mean, okay. I'm just saying we need to be conscious of our bias and do our part to make sure that everyone is in the room. Okay, so everyone needs to be in the room. So apparently now, according to Brie Larson, the future face of Marvel, we need to have teams of critics, and you have to have check boxes. You have to have a white critic, got to have an African-American critic, got to have a Hispanic critic, got to have a woman critic, got to have a woman of color critic, got to have an LGBTQIA plus critic, got to have a trans critic, got to have an ableist, a disabled critic, got to have, I guess, a veteran critic also at some point. You need to have a critic that represents foreign views, so you got to have, that's 10 critics right there that you got to have to go see a movie.
You forgot the other Q again.
Oh, I did it again. Oh, okay, all right.
For those of you who are members of that other Q community, I apologize.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And the views expressed by David Vermillion do not necessarily represent those of Freedom 1160 or Salem Media Group.
And still, she goes on. I can't believe it. She's still going on. I'm going to get through some of the other. I'm not going to read everything that she says, but what I'm cutting doesn't take away context. Here we go. Quote, I do not need a 40-year-old white dude. That's the fourth white dude count. We're up to, that's 4.
She must be from the South.
Must be. To tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what the film meant to women of color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial, and for the third time, I don't hate white dudes. So that's 5 on the white dude count. So here's what we take away from this. 1, she doesn't hate white dudes.
That's a good thing.
Okay,
that's positive. That's a positive thing.
There you go. Good job. Good job,
yes.
Brie Larson. Yay. That's the first thing. The second thing is now you really do need a team. Okay, so apparently, if I go see, let's go say we do like a review of The Color Purple. The Oscar-winning movie, The Color Purple.
You had to go with The Color Purple.
Well, we can't review that now because we're white dudes. We can't do that.
I've never seen The Color Purple. So
it's been a long time since I have, so we can't do that. White Men Can't Jump.
Hold on, there's white men in that, and white men is in the title.
There's one white man in that one.
But it's in the title.
Yes, but it's just the one, which is probably also a problem with it, because it's focusing on the one.
Does that mean we
white
can't
man.
review Cheech and Chong?
No, we can't do that either because we're not
Dang
Latino.
it.
We're not Hispanic.
Man.
So we can't review that. What else can't we Black Panther. Oh my, I did a review of Black Panther.
See, I wasn't going to go there.
Brie Larson, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I told America what my thoughts were on Black Panther when I'm not African American. So believe it or not, Brie Larson is talking about me. Brie Larson is talking about me. First of all, I'm flattered that she took the time out to talk about me. And secondly, wow. I mean, just wow.
And it's not so often that shows get pulled on their season premiere, but we could be pushing the limit here.
Just a little bit. But she also apologized to her publicist.
Oh, did she now?
At the end of the speech, she says, these are my feelings, and I'm sorry, Lindsay, quote, her publicist, please don't kill me.
Yes, and I'm thinking about that to my station bosses right
Oh,
about
my
now.
God, are you kidding? So I had all this Marvel news. I did. I swear that I did, and it just went right out the window there.
You know, if we ever go to a Patreon, we need to actually put these on there so that way people can know.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're not getting these for free, people. I'm telling you that right now.
So, I don't want to be the one to go there, but I am. Guess who the next target of social justice warriors is going to be?
David Vermillion.
No, Brie Larson. The keyboard cowards are going to go bananas over her now. I mean, Daisy Ridley got forced off of Instagram because she made a comment about gun control. This woman went on and on, and can I say woman? Can I say that? I can say that?
Yes.
Okay. This woman went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. 5 times she says she didn't hate white dudes. Dude, I'm sorry, man. She's the next target of keyboard cowards.
I also think she does protest too much.
Probably just a bit.
Just a little bit.
I mean, I get her point. Okay, let's get serious. We'll stop having fun.
Hold on. We're supposed to be talking about a Howard the Duck reboot, and you want to get serious.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? It'll be a first for this show that we got serious. Let me get serious,
Lord.
all right? Yes, she has a point. Yes, there are a lot of white men who are critics. But it's what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to quit?
Yes.
Are we supposed to have quotas? You know what, man? I know you had 18 years of critic experience and you've won 18,000 awards, but can't hire you because you're white. I mean, this is what does she want to happen? What does she expect to happen? First of all, a lot of people out there are saying, I don't care about the critics. I don't. I'm going to go see a movie if I like it. I'm going to go see Wrinkle in Time if I like it. Who cares? But I really...
Or if
I'm
our significant others like it.
I'm stunned about it. Okay, so does this go the other way then? Does this mean that when Justice League, for example...
Very good
okay,
movie. I enjoyed that movie.
You enjoyed that movie, so you can talk about it because you're white and a lot of the characters in there are white.
Yeah.
So Peter couldn't talk about it. Our friend Peter Gonzalez, the president of the Solar Society of San Antonio.
Minimum of the 2 main characters, possibly 3, because Ezra Miller, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, with the majority of the film.
Yes.
Okay, Man of Steel, same story.
Yes, I can talk about Man of Steel. I can also talk about Batman versus Superman.
So does that go the other way then? Is it possible then that if Oprah wanted to critique Man of Steel, that she couldn't do it?
I don't want to live in a world where that is happening.
That's what I'm driving at. Thank you. I don't want labels. I don't want someone to say, no, you can't do this because you're that, and you should do this because you're that. I don't want that. All right. How did we get so far away from what Martin Luther King said about how we should all be more about the content of our character than the color of our skin? How did we get so far removed from that? It boggles the mind.
Okay, since we're since we're not just gonna step our toe, we're jumping in the deep end of politics here because there are people who make their living through division. There are people who make money by keeping people apart.
There are people who pop their head off the pillow every morning wondering, how can I be offended today?
Believe it or not, there are people in this world who march with Martin Luther King who are acting the exact opposite of the dream that Martin Luther King had. It's craziness.
And it drives me crazy. Now we're going back towards segregation. We're going back to labels. We're going away from equality and inclusivity. And like this is being applauded. I guarantee you there are people out there right now toasting Brie Larson's name. It ain't going to be me. I get what she's trying to say. But at the same time, you can't say that the San Antonio Spurs have to have X number of white basketball players. I mean, I don't know how many coaches are minorities, but are we going to go there? How many owners are minorities? We're going to go there? I mean, God. It's craziness. It is absolute craziness. So with that being said, let's get away from this. All right, let's just go away.
Thank you.
And let's talk about some DC news here.
Oh, here we go.
Alrighty, so this is brought to you by our friends over at Laser Legend. Laser Legend is on the north side of San Antonio off of 1604 and Lookout Road. Guys, it is insanely hot out there. I know we got a little bit of rain recently, but it is crazy hot, and you know it's Texas in summer. It's only going to get hotter and drier. Thankfully, the air conditioning system over at Laser Legend is cranking. It is awesome. It is phenomenal. They have great fountain drinks. They've got food specials. They have all sorts of games to play in their 4,000 square foot video arcade. They've got air hockey. I mean, how can you go wrong with air hockey right there? But, if you want something a little more modern, no problem. They got Star Wars Battle Pod. They have a Walking Dead game. They have a Jurassic Park game. Jurassic World's coming out. So you want to go play the Jurassic Park game for sure. They've got Guitar Hero. They also have indoor miniature golf. They also have a 2-floor laser tag arena with various games, including power-ups for your weapon. Phenomenal. Just awesome. Every time Goose and I and Peter go out to Laser Legend, we always have a great time. And if you head up that way, you will as well.
So if the air conditioning in here is phenomenal, the air conditioner over at Laser Legend is more phenomenal.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
Very true, very true. Thank you, sir. All right, so Geoff Johns has announced he's leaving the DCEU, and a lot of people are starting to smell blood in the water. And so who is Geoff Johns? Geoff Johns was promoted to the role of Chief Creative Officer In the wake of criticism that was levied at Batman Superman at that dumpster fire, he was kind of expected to be the Kevin Feige of DC. Kevin Feige is the absolute genius who runs Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So this guy comes on and he's supposed to put together the mess that was left in the wake of Batman Superman, and now he's gone. He's out. He's hanging on for current projects.
Well, no, and he also has a writer-producer deal. He will be producing Aquaman. He'll help out with other DC movies under his new banner.
Yeah, but technically, couldn't he write like one paragraph of a script and call himself a writer?
Possibly, but he's also going to continue writing Doomsday Clock. He's going to be involved in other projects.
Couldn't he also show up on set one day, eat a donut, say, hey, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, nice to see you, walk away and call himself a producer?
Speaking of DC and its parent company,
just saying,
Time Warner?
Yes.
AT&T, the Justice Department just lost their battle, and AT&T can buy Time Warner.
Yes, that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
And now Comcast is going to buy. They're going to
put in a bid.
19% better than the Disney deal.
And the Disney deal was all stock. Comcast is all cash.
Yeah, on all cash. It's a $65 billion all cash offer. How does that work exactly?
But I think,
do you just like park a truck next to the Mint?
But I also think Fox
Department?
signed a letter of intent for Disney.
Yeah, but
so that's a legally binding deal.
Yeah, but they can back out of that. That's no problem.
Well, they have to go, I think, before their stockholders to do that.
I think the stockholders will approve a 19% better deal. So
all in cash.
Yeah, basically, I mean, if you think Disney has a money bin, AKA like Scrooge McDuck's second home, yeah, Comcast has like a money country, like all of Montana filled with money. Is basically what Comcast has. So, okay. All right, so getting back to the DC thing here. All right, so there's no Aquaman trailer. The Cyborg movie is officially pulled. We're getting a solo Joker movie about, with Jared Leto.
There's two. I've heard that there's going to be two Joker movies.
Well, I think they'll probably figure out how the first one does.
Oh, and one of Geoff Johns' new series he's going to do comic book wise is called Three Jokers. At the end of Darkseid War, we found out that there were three Jokers.
Very true. Very true. So I'm not convinced that the DC. I mean, look, there was some signs of life after Justice League. The DCEU looked dead. Okay, Joss Whedon quit/fired from Batgirl. They pulled a bunch of movies that they were planning on rolling out. The Flash movie had gone through something like 48,000 directors or something by this point. It was going to be a Flashpoint movie. Then it wasn't. Then it was. Then it wasn't. Nobody knows. It looked like the DCEU was done. Then there were signs of life. We heard about Justice League 2. We heard about Aquaman. We've gotten some pictures now of Aquaman.
Man of Steel 2 as well.
Man of Steel 2 and so on and so forth. So there were signs of life from the Aquaman, Shazam. DCEU was kind of kicking it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Geoff Johns gone as chief creative officer, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if they're going to live.
Have you seen the quote from an anonymous person inside the DCEU regarding what the other guy had to walk into?
I had not, no.
An S show. That's a quote.
That's a quote?
Yeah, he walked into an S show.
I think that's actually better than I thought it would be over there by now. So maybe things are improving. They could be improving. Who knows?
Wow.
Yeah, that's it's not good over in Warnerland. It's really not.
As far as DC's concerned.
As far as
DC movies. DC comics
movies
are still going.
And DC TV is doing very well.
Yep.
DCEU TV.
Although everybody says that the crossovers are a nightmare to produce.
Well, I can only imagine. I mean,
it's horrendous.
Because, in TV, you're very used to doing things one way. You are very set in your ways because you've got to crank out these episodes like crazy, so you've got to have consistency. So now to do these crossovers with different personalities, different characters, different writers coming in, different directors coming in, yeah, man, that's not what I would call fun on a Friday night.
And tomorrow night is the season finale of Supergirl.
All right.
Season 3.
Good news.
Yeah. Well, no, actually it was because of the 8-week hiatus due to Legends.
Right.
There's going to be less time between the Supergirl finale and premiere than between every other DC show finale and premiere.
Uh-huh.
Because, it went off the air for 8 weeks.
Right.
For Legends, because at the time CW didn't want to put more than 4 superhero shows on at one time, and they had to premiere Black Lightning.
Right.
So the Legends took Supergirl's slot. Supergirl came back to finish the 8 episodes, which puts it tomorrow as the season finale. And then in the fall, it's going to be on Sunday nights instead of Monday nights.
This hurts my head to think about it.
Yes, well.
That's a lot. I thought Marvel on TV was bad enough. Marvel on TV, man, they're throwing so much at the wall, they just want something to stick. It's too much from Marvel, but at least DCEU has some quality TV, unlike their movies, which they're, what do we say, they're 1 for 5? 1 for 5, right? I mean, Man of Steel was kind of...
Well, okay, Man of Steel was a half.
Okay, so 1.5 out of 5. So that's a half.
Batman, Superman was...
That's a dud. Suicide Squad is,
oh, my God. Suicide Squad takes that half away from Man of Steel.
Justice League, dud. Considering the expectation.
That's a half.
It grossed less than Batman, Superman.
Because it got Suicide Squad hate.
Infinity War grossed what it made in its lifetime, made it in a day.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. No, I'm calling Justice League a dud. So that's 1.5 because Wonder Woman was a really good movie. So, you know, they got that going for them, so that's something. Oh, goodness. All right, so we got a cut for the bottom of the hour news break here. Don't forget to come right back here and check us out on iTunes, on Stitcher, and on the... We'll be right back here on Freedom 1160.
Hi, this is Lauren Lester, the voice of Robin and Nightwing. And you're listening to Get Your Geek On.
Welcome back from the bottom of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek On Freedom 1160 Talk Radio. I am Dave Gramillion, and if you missed the first half of the show, we had to deviate seriously from the notes that I worked on all week. Thanks to Brie Larson opening her mouth. My goodness gracious.
We didn't have to. That was a choice you made, and a choice I strongly objected to.
Wow, way to cut the knees out right from under me there to start off the show, Goose. That's.
Well, no, I was fine when we started off the show. This is the second half. I tell the truth, man. This is Freedom 1160, where now I have the freedom to say what I believe.
Hey, Goose, do me a favor?
Yes.
Shut up for a while. Alrighty, so you can check out all of everything that we have here, the first half of the show that you missed, our previous interviews with our guests, shows that we've done in the past and will do in the future on our award-winning Best of the City podcast, as voted on by San Antonio Magazine. Alrighty, so with that being said, we're going to move into the second half of the show here, and we're going to start off with some video game news. We're going to be talking about E3 winners and losers, but you will not find any losers when you head over to Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch, over there on the west side of San Antonio. That's off of 151 and 1604. If you haven't been on that side of town in a while, that place is exploding. And one of the great stores that they put in there is Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch, where you can find comics, graphic novels, plush toys, action figures, all sorts of tabletop games, tournaments, events, so much going on over at Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. Alrighty, so E3, the Electronic Expo, this is going to be the highlight of our video game news. We haven't played that in a while.
I know. I was looking forward to it, and then you wouldn't be quiet.
Oh, I know. I got a big old mouth, but that's what happens when you're on radio. So, alrighty. So E3 was held just this past week, and there's some big-time winners and big-time losers. First of all, this is one of the more memorable E3s to happen probably in the last 5 to 10 years. So many companies had so many news about so many games. It was ridiculous. Like every 5 minutes, I got a friend of mine he lives over in Converse, and it's like every 5 minutes, dude, did you see this? Dude, did you see this? Dude, did you see this? And I'm like, yeah, hang on, I'll get to it. I got to watch this thing, and then I got to watch this thing. Dude, no, they're doing this. Oh, Microsoft did this. Oh, Xbox did this. Sony did that. And I was like, holy cow, so much news. So we got 3 winners, we got 2 losers. And let's just start right at the top here by talking about Xbox. Big time winner. Microsoft in general did a great job, but with the Xbox, they were talking about their Battletoads game, Halo Infinite. Another Halo game coming our way. That is some very geeky goodness right there. That is awesome. Cyberpunk 2077 looked really good also. That's an original game. Well, as original as video games can be nowadays, but it looked really good. A lot of people were very impressed by what they saw with Cyberpunk 2077. They also announced that they've acquired 5 developer studios. 5 studios. So look for Microsoft to be making a very big video game push here in the next, say, 3 to 5 years. Another winner, Sony. I'm declaring Sony to be one of our winners. As soon as they came out with The Last of Us, I was sold. That's it. I was there. I was like, yes, The Last of Us 2 had some great footage, great game. It looked really good. Spider-Man. Sony's coming out with a new Spider-Man game featuring the Sinister Six.
Is that the new one that's just coming out, or is that coming out next year?
I think it's coming out next
Because I've got one coming out in September.
I'm not sure if that's it or
for
not.
The PS4.
Well, then that must be it then. Because this is the one where, he climbs to the top of the building.
Costume.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But he climbs to the top of the building and then gets the snot beat out of him by the Sinister Six.
Interesting.
So that looked fantastic as well. Resident Evil 2. This is a game long awaited by the masses, and now you're going to get it. That got a lot of crowd reaction. That was great. But have you seen the game footage for Ghost of Tsushima? A samurai video game. This looks good. I think this is the dark horse of E3. The more you watch it, I think you're going to like it, but you're not going to hear that much about it because it's not for the Nintendo Switch, or it's not a franchise game like Call of Duty or Battlefront or Halo, anything like that. But trust me, Ghost of Tsushima, you need to look that up on YouTube. You're going to love what you see. So that was Sony. Bethesda, I'm declaring another winner. Bethesda, Doom Eternal, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. Man, it's like the 90s all over again. A Doom game and a Wolfenstein game. Phenomenal. And they look great. And then they released their little teaser for Elder Scrolls 6. And oh, it looked good. It looked so good. But then let's talk about what pretty much stole the show. Let's talk about the one thing that, had everyone jumping up and down. They could not wait for it, and that is Fallout 76. People went bonkers when they saw Fallout 76 game footage. It's going to be multiplayer, which is different for them. It's all online, although you can still do solo mode, but it's all online, kind of like what they do with Destiny.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, they still have an online, a solo mode, so yay.
I like my stuff local.
I do as well, but I do like that this has been a story-only game, and now finally they have multiplayer. If they'd done multiplayer all these times before, then it'd be like, whatever. But they'd never done it before. So
and a lot of games, sadly, are sacrificing story for multiplayer, and I don't care for that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either, but the Fallout series is renowned for having a really good, solid story. So I'm hoping that Fallout 76 will continue that tradition. So we have winners, we got to have losers.
Yeah, we do.
Sadly,
but I'm gonna argue with you on the Square Enix thing here in a minute.
Oh, okay, all right. No, bring it on. That's always fun. Square Enix is one of my losers. Because basically what they did was they just kind of re-showed the games that Xbox showed the day before.
I got 3 words for you, sir. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay, that's good.
It's coming out in holiday time.
Does that make up for the lack of news about the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yes.
Does that make up for the lack of news about the Avengers project?
Yes.
It does not. Shut up.
Because you have Square Enix and Disney, and we all know Disney makes up for anything.
Well, yeah. Have they bought us yet?
Look, I'm willing to take a cash and stock deal. I'm just telling you right now. I'm not above. I'll take the same deal you gave Lucas. I'm perfectly fine with that myself.
Your scruples are just impeccable right about now. That's just awesome. So basically, here's what Square Enix did. They re-showed the games Xbox showed the day before. They had no news about the Avengers project. No news about the Final Fantasy VII remake. That was a giant disappointment. So they're one of our losers. The other loser, EA. Electronic Arts.
Get in the game.
Not exactly well loved by the fans lately, especially those Star Wars fans. They're not fans of EA by any stretch, and they didn't do themselves any favors at E3. No footage or logo about the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game. Basically, all they did was they talked a little bit about FIFA and Madden, which everyone's like, whatever. You've been making those games for 20 years. We get it. You know, you're gonna introduce a new franchise mode. It's the same thing. You just update it. What's the big deal? And they focus a lot on mobile games. You know where you focus on mobile games? PAX. Do that at PAX. You know, give us something here, EA. Do something. You've got this enormous international stage. You got to give us something.
I will say that the folks over at 2K do a great job with their franchise games, like NBA 2K and NFL and WWE. They do a really good job of making wholesale improvements year over year over year.
That's true. That's true. But I think that a lot of fans at EA were looking for something a little bit different. Did you hear about this? My friend, by the way, out in Converse, he was telling me about how you can play Skyrim on Alexa.
I'm sorry, what?
You can play Skyrim.
And it's called Amazon Echo, not Alexa.
Well, hey Alexa, play Skyrim. You know, that's basically what it is. And you can do that now. I mean, technology today is just incredible. So we want to hear from you guys. I want to know. I want to hear from the people, from the masses. If you paid attention at all to E3, what was your winner? What was your loser? And if you're listening to us and you don't know what E3 is, ask your kids. E3.
Alexa, what is E3?
Exactly. You know, that works too. Alexa, play Skyrim and tell me about E3. And let us know. I want to know what your winners and losers are. You can tell us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/GYGO radio. Just drop us a line there. We already have a post up also. So if you want to drop a comment in there and tell us your biggest winner and loser and what game you're most excited about that's coming out in the next 12 months for the next E3. You know, I think we may need to take a road trip to the next E3.
You know what game I'm most excited about?
Smash Brothers?
Give you 3 words.
Super Smash Brothers.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
How did I know? Yes, and of course, and Super Smash Brothers had a nice one too. Did you see the Kingdom Hearts gameplay? Is that what got you all excited?
Well, I've played the Kingdom Hearts games and I really like them because there's like Final Fantasy and Disney all thrown together.
I think next year's road trip should be to E3. I think we should do that. We should.
Oh, E3, you say?
Well, although that would put us at E3 and Celebration in the same year.
Well, I don't think I can go to Celebration.
Oh, why not?
Because I don't work for you. I work for the station. And there's other things to do.
Oh, take a few days.
We'll see.
A little Chicago vacay.
Get
up to the Windy City.
I don't have paid time off here.
We'll go see a Cubs game.
If I don't work, I don't get paid.
We'll go see a Blackhawks game. We'll see a Bulls game.
Cool. You gonna pay me $10 an hour?
Wait, no. No,
okay.
I'm not. Yeah.
Not that's what I make. I mean, I need a bonus for going there. I'm going to be with you for 4 days. I need hazard pay.
Okay, you do realize I can still throw things at you. We've moved stations, but I can still throw things at you. I'm just making sure that, you're...
I have a shield.
Yeah, whatever. You're not Chris Evans. That doesn't count. That doesn't work. Alrighty, so... video games lately, I've noticed quite the rise in video gaming overall, and I think esports has something to do with that a bit. Overwatch, the Overwatch League is just massively huge. There are 100 million people playing League of Legends. At least 100 million people playing League of Legends. I mean, it's incredible. The video game community is very, very strong. If you've ever been to Twitch, by the way, which is, I think it's twitch.tv, holy cow, man.
By the way, when it's time to face the music for me, we might just have to do that on our Twitch channel.
Yes, that's right. In case you missed it, we've had a couple of fun little predictions and bets and consequences going on. So what we do is we typically do opening weekend predictions and bets. And if you win, great, you get bragging rights. By the way, I'm 2 for 2. Thank you very much. And if you lose, there's a consequence. The last consequence, Peter had to sing I'm a Little Teapot, Short and Stout on the street corner right outside the studio for 5 minutes at the top of his lungs. You can find the video on our Facebook page.
A video that was shoddily shot, by the way.
Yeah, shut up. And the next one up, we'll change that with you. Don't worry about that. Goose was way off in his prediction of how Infinity War would do in the overall gross.
First of all, I was like 85% there.
You're conceding. So, it's done. You're done.
I was close.
You were close. I was closer.
Shut your face.
Yeah, that's right. So he's going to have to undo the one chip challenge. I've got some Carolina Reaper chips that he'll have to eat. Just the one.
Just the one.
I got to find some latex gloves because I'm not touching that thing barehanded. There's no way. There was no way. And so we'll put that up on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, something like that. So it'll be up there. Yeah, that's that'll be some fun.
We should do that on Twitch.
Oh yeah, some milk. I got a little milk for you also. What?
I have a thought.
What?
We have several, because Twitch, people can donate and make suggestions, right?
Yes.
We have like 4 drinks.
Oh my God.
And donate for them.
If they donate enough, will you eat 2 chips?
Yes.
Oh yes.
But
okay.
But that enough is going to be way high.
Yeah, we'll have to get to a certain level for you to eat 2 chips. But
yes.
Yeah,
I'll do it though.
We'll see what happens. Okay, all right. Well, so we'll put that up. We'll let y'all know ahead of time when Goose has to pay the piper on that one.
Oh, Lord.
All right, so Goose, you know what today is?
It's Father's Day.
It's Father's Day. Man.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day to my dad, by the way. Love my dad very much. And had him on the show as a guest once.
Yes,
so
for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars.
That's right. He was up here last May to talk about, because he saw it in the theater, and he talked about his experience. I wasn't born yet, sadly. So, no, I'm not like a kid or anything. I just wasn't born in 1977. So, don't look at me like that on the radio.
And we love our dad so much, we're here doing a radio show.
Absolutely. So, I thought it was best that we talked about the geeky dads, both the best and the worst dads out there.
These aren't dads that were geeks. These are, comic book and cartoon dads.
Yeah, there are geeky dads out there.
Like the guy from Silver Spoons.
Like, there you go. Or, my dad actually now, we're watching Marvel movies with him, and he's watching King of the Hill on his own.
Yeah, I heard a story about your dad in Deadpool. That was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good. No, we didn't consider King of the Hill as a geeky dad.
No.
I tell you what. Although he does sell propane and propane accessories.
Mike Judge, you are not, sir.
No, I'm not Mike Judge. We should get him on the show at some point. That'd be fun.
Or we can have the guy who did all the concept art.
Yes, that'd be a lot of fun. I bet he's coming to Alamo City.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's talk. Let's start with the worst of the worst. The worst dads in geekdom. These are not the dads you want to have, and I'm going to start off. This is in no particular order, by the way. We're not going to order them or anything. Odin.
I don't know about Odin though. Odin.
Look at what he did to Loki, Thor, and Hela. Come on.
Yeah, but in the comics, he's nicer.
In the comics, maybe, but still, he's still responsible for what happens to Thor, what happens to Loki, and what happens to all
of Asgard.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as in the first movie, as soon as he said, both of you were meant to be king, or born to be king, but only one of you can be, and I'm like, dude.
Again, Anthony Hopkins, you are not.
Dude, really? That's how you're going to set up your kingdom? Good God Almighty, he's not a good dad. He's not. Brian Banner. This one, you're going to have to really be a hardcore geek to know who Brian Banner is. Or you can just listen because I'm going to tell you. He's the father of Bruce Banner, who is the Incredible Hulk. This is a guy who beat his wife when he learned how smart Bruce was.
Yep.
Because, well, he's just jealous.
Brian's not that smart.
Yeah, he's not really. Then he kills her. And then he tries to beat up Bruce at his mother's grave.
So there's thoughts that Bruce witnessing that is what caused the schism. That later down the road would turn into the Hulk.
I could see that. I could absolutely see that. But yeah, that's not a good dad by any means at all. So that's that. All right, Red Skull. Yes, Red Skull is a dad, but does it need to be said why he's a bad dad?
I don't think
it's
so.
Red Skull, for God's sake. He brainwashed his daughter. He's a terrible father.
It's a horrible man.
Yeah,
horrible man.
Yeah. So all right. So Red Skull. Nope. Nope. Another one. Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul had more children than just Talia, and he did love Talia, but the rest of his kids he hated. He actually saw his kids as a threat. And even Talia, he loved her, but let's face it, if he had to, he would have gone all Thanos on her. He pretty much married her to Batman in order to get Batman off his case. So, yeah, no, he's not the best dad out there.
I have one that you didn't think about, but I think deserves some talking about.
Okay.
Oliver Queen.
Okay, let's discuss.
So Oliver Queen,
make your case.
Is a father in the series.
Okay.
He was also a father in the comics to a man named Connor. In the comics, Green Arrow died, but this kid was around for a long time, and I can't remember if Oliver didn't know or just didn't
care.
Didn't care. In the television show, as we all know, once he found out, because he didn't find out for a long time. He cared, but he also kept them in hiding to protect the kid from anybody who might have known that Oliver Queen and Arrow were the same person.
Kind of make him a good dad then, wouldn't it?
Well, but he didn't actually, I don't think, provided any funds. He just said, go hide.
Yeah.
But, when he has a son, he doesn't stop. He doesn't actually slow down when he becomes the primary caretaker. He still goes off and puts himself in positions to get killed.
Okay. All right, I can see that.
And leaving his son who's already lost his mother, to possibly lose his father as well and become an orphan.
All right, I'll give you that one. But is there a worse dad out there in all of comicdom than Norman Osborn?
Oh, Lord.
Norman Osborn is a horrible human being and an even worse dad.
And grandfather. He's a horrible grandfather, too.
I mean, and a grandfather. I mean, the guy is just top to bottom scum when it comes to his own family.
Yes.
I mean, just awful.
So much so that he put a piece of the Carnage symbiote into little Normie Osborn in the last story for Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep. There's literally nothing good about this guy.
Not one bit.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I think if we were to put him in order, Norman Osborn would be far and away the worst dad out there.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so that was the worst. Let's talk about the best dads out there, because it is Father's Day, and we love our daddies very much. So let's talk about the best geeky dads out there. And the first one that comes to your head, I mean, right off the top, it's got to be Pa Kent. Good old Jonathan Kent.
Jor-El doesn't fall into that?
He did one good thing for his kid. Jonathan did, like, a bunch.
Yeah, but, he saved his son's life. Otherwise, Jonathan Kent wouldn't have even come into the picture.
Yeah, but he did come into the picture, and he had about 2 decades with his son, give or take, plus or minus.
Depending on which continuity.
Yeah, he had a couple of decades, and I'm sure he did a lot of really good things. So, yeah, I put John Kent over Jor-El. Jor-El did one great sacrifice, which is true, but I would still say that it's Jonathan Kent who's the better dad. So Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead is a great father. He saved his son on many occasions. He taught his son. He helped his son become the man that he is. You can say was if you're watching the show, but it is if you're in the comics.
Spoilers.
Oh, that's been out for months.
Spoilers.
Whatever. So I put Rick Grimes right up there with the best dads in all of geeky comic movie series dumb. Another one. He's not a dad. He's technically not, but he still raised him. He's still a father figure. He's all that, and that's Uncle Ben. Good old Ben Parker, which Tobey Maguire was the third one, the Spider-Man 3. Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker said,
going to get Sandman?
Said, I had a father. His name was Ben Parker. So, okay, it's an endorsement. That works for me.
Joe West.
Desperado?
No, from the Flash television series.
Rough Rider?
Played by Jesse L. Martin.
No, you don't want nada? None of this? Oh, come on. That's a good song. Okay, fine.
He took in Barry.
Yeah.
Raised him and Iris side by side.
Yeah.
As a single father.
Yeah.
And a police detective.
Yeah.
Inspired, help inspire Barry to go into police work, which allowed him to be in the lab when the particle accelerator exploded, thus giving him his flashback.
Okay, well, yeah, I can see that. All right, we can so it's Joe West. We can get him definitely in there. Let's see here. Let's see. Jim Gordon. I mean, father of Barbara. I'd say he's a pretty good dad.
He's had his moments over the years.
So we can throw him into the list. That'll work. Bruce Wayne, speaking of keeping it kind of in the same universe here, Bruce Wayne, if you count up all the Robins, Yeah, a couple of them died. But still, you know.
No, one of them died. Well, two of them died. Both of them came back.
Yeah, both of them came back. But and if you count up all the Robins as his ward, and again, he's a father figure. He raised these Robins.
We talking pre-52 Robins or post-52 Robins?
Let's do pre-52.
Okay,
Robin.
so there's at least one more in there.
Yeah.
So you have Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Jason Todd, who died and came back.
Damien.
No, hold on.
Oh,
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
Stephanie Brown.
Yeah.
And then Damian Wayne.
And then Damian Wayne.
The only reason Damian became a Robin is because Bruce had died.
Right.
And Dick Grayson took over as Batman, and he, in a tribute to Bruce, brought Damian in as Robin.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. There's a bit of a discussion going on in our chat here, facebook.com/GYGO radio. Dr. Henry Jones, is he a good dad or not?
Hold on, are we talking about Dr. Jones or Henry Jones Jr.?
No, we're talking senior. Henry
Senior?
Jones
No,
Sr.
Senior was a terrible dad.
Yeah, I don't think he was all that good either. He saw himself as a good dad because he taught him self-reliance.
In fact, I think part of the reason that Junior went into the realm that he did was to prove that he was better.
Yeah, or at least to try to get some attention, some notice.
To have something in common, to try to get some type of...
To impress his dad.
Thing going on, yeah.
I could see that, but yeah, I don't think that...
oh yeah, and Stephanie died and came back too.
Henry Jones Sr. is that good of a dad. He's not, from what we know, and we don't know that much. But we know that Indiana certainly resented it. He resented the way that his father treated him, so I don't think you can count that as being a good dad, even if he did treat him self-reliance.
That's why he was named after the dog.
That's why he was named after the dog. Henry Jones
He loved that dog.
He really did. Oh my God, we are already there already.
By the way, people, we forgot, on the bad side, Thanos.
Yeah.
On the good side, Alfred.
There we go. So that'll wrap it up here. If you want to tweet at us, shoot us one at GYGO_radio. Shoot me an email at davethehost@getyourgeekon.org. For Goose, for Minion, and for myself, I want to thank our sponsors, Laser Legend, Dragon's Lair, Alamo Ranch, Havoc, and The Mailing Spot. Thank you for listening, and make sure to get your geek on every single day.